Yeah, man. Welcome back to another episode of Plug Talk. It's been a long time no see. Happy New Year's, everybody, man. Hope everybody was enjoying themselves. And
Bro, this our first one of the New Year's, man. We 9 days in, man. We took a vacation, y'all. We was eating good, getting fat, but that's neither here nor there, man. Welcome to 2023 Plug Talk, Demon Rachi. Bring us into the new year properly, good brother.
yeah, man. Welcome. I mean, was under a little bit under the weather, but we getting back to work, and we gonna hit y'all even harder this year, man. Like them Bengals, what they trying to do, trying to hit us hard.
Hey, man. Hey, you gotta relax, man. We going through a lot in Cincinnati right now. We got a lot of issues, man. We ain't feeling shit that's been going on right now. Kind of similar to probably how Tory Lanez feel. He probably ain't been feeling shit that's been going on the last few weeks, man. And we gonna hit y'all with a little bit of update and some info we just got privy to about the homie. People Rachi, lead us into it, man.
All right. So I mean this lawyer, he's been associated with Tory Lanez in the last couple of days. David Kenner, that's his name.
David Kenner, bro.
Yup.
David Kenner. He was the lawyer for Death Row for years. Suge's personal lawyer. This is the same lawyer that beat the murder case that Snoop Dogg had in 1992, which led to one of his biggest selling LPs, Murder Was the Case. They even did a movie. Have you ever seen that short documentary movie for Murder Was the Case?
Yep. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Shout out to the homeboy Freeze Love, my homeboy, good partner of mine, Freeze Love, comedian. He was in that. He played one of the gangbangers with Snoop. He's one of Snoop's entourage and shit. I just want to shout the homie out real quick, though, man. I never knew that was him till he pointed it out to me, man. But this is the same lawyer that got the gun charge dismissed for Nate Dogg and the assault he had hitting the motherfucker with the golf club out on the golf course.
Right.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yep, I seen that.
But every one of the guys on death row who had any incidents with the law, David Kenner made that shit disappear, man.
Right.
The only person that he lost the case with Death Row was Suge Knight. And I personally think that was so he could steal and embezzle some money out of Death Row, to be honest with you. You gotta remember when Suge first went to jail for that probation violation, kicking homeboy in the casino the night Pac died. Death Row as a record label was worth $500 million at the time. Yeah. They were worth a half a bill, bro.
Right.
That's a lot of money that you can slide $70 million out of that if you're David Kenner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. So he's a beast, bro. This is not, to me, and when I know about LA lawyers since Johnny Cochran has died, and even during the time Johnny Cochran was alive, it was argumentative about who was the best lawyer in LA between Cochran and Kenner. And, Johnny Cochran is no longer with us. May he rest in peace. David Kenner's that dude. He's that dude in LA.
Right.
If I was to catch a case in LA and D. Marachi called me up like, bro, keep your head up, man. We got you a lawyer. And I'm like, word? Yeah. He like, okay, man. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm straight. Who the lawyer, bro? David Kenner. I'm like, oh, shit, nigga. I'm out soon. Okay, my niggas. You got me Kenner? You got me Kenner, nigga? Okay, yeah. We good now. You like, damn, nigga, now you, yeah, nigga, I was down until you said David Kenner, nigga.
Okay.
He's that type of guy. Now, okay, so what's going on with David Kenner, D. Marachi? What is he doing right now?
So I guess Tory Lanez right now, he's in an appeal process, and he hired David Kenner to be his lawyer. And he's getting things rolling. And as we're speaking right now, not to date our material, but as of tomorrow, they should be going to court. And again, I've never been in the legal system on that side, So for something to move like that, I would think that that's pretty fast. That just
I've
a
been
couple. Go
to
ahead. Go
I've
ahead.
been to trial before,
Mm-hmm.
and I know a few people who went to the feds that have been to trial. I've never heard of or ever seen a preliminary hearing in between the process of you getting found guilty at trial and your sentencing. I've never heard of a preliminary in between those two dates. So this is new. And this kind of just solidifies what type of power David Kenner has, because like I said, in my situation, when I got sentenced, bro, it was I didn't see another courtroom until my sentencing date. And when my sentencing date came, I left from the sentencing date. Within 2 days, I was packed up and sent to the prison. I've never heard of no court dates in between a verdict and your sentencing. So this is showing that one or two things. Either this dude can pull a lot of strings, he got a lot of power, which I don't think that's I'm not saying he don't. I think he definitely has that. I just don't think that's the case. I think there's a lot of flawed shit that the defense that Tory had for trial overlooked that David Kenner was able to put in front of their face and force their hand to get them back into this court date tomorrow.
Right.
To be honest with you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So like you said, we're gonna give our brief commentary and reaction. We're gonna play a quick video from the lady, Miss Lowdown. Shout out to her. Just giving a brief summary to what is actually going on with the whole Tory Lanez appeal and follow up through after the verdict was given. Just a couple
and
of
if you
weeks
want to
ago.
go subscribe, if you want to go subscribe to her channel and check out any of her content, we will leave a link for her in the description box. And just like you said, shout out to her for being one of the first people to put this information out. Also, shout out to Milagro Graham. She was initially the person that did a live stream on Instagram and put this information out as well. Mm-hmm. And also, you know, shout out to Tory and his family, man, for staying strong, staying active, and not giving up on their son and just letting this system wash up another one of our black males, man. We can go ahead with it, D. Marachi.
All right.
Is something brewing, some big stuff brewing right now, y'all. Okay. Now, first I gotta say that Tori's case is about to take a U-turn in Megan Thee Stallion's case, y'all. Okay. Remember, I told y'all she ain't got much luck. Okay, y'all. Not much luck whatsoever. And I told y'all.
That's what she an evil witchcraft bitch.
And not only is she about to be looking stupid, y'all gotta think about that numerology, y'all. And think about that numerology. Now, Tory just got a new lawyer. He got a really good lawyer, word on the street is. They said that he was the lawyer of, what's his name? Suge Knight, y'all. Yes. He got a new lawyer. Now, let me look at, I had his name right here. I forgot it that fast. Let me look it up.
You gotta be more on point, baby girl.
Yeah.
You stumbling and fumbling.
What is his name? I just had it because I looked him up.
David Kenner.
Why don't you own commercial real estate? Yes, you. Why don't you?
Oh, perfect fucking timing, dog.
David Kenner, y'all. David Kenner. And he's supposed to be a kick butt lawyer, y'all. This one right here. And y'all, they said that Tory has a new court date, y'all, tomorrow already, y'all. Okay? And they're saying that they're in his paperwork, they're about to change some charges up, y'all. This is what they're saying. Now, if you ask me, he should have had this man in the first place because that other guy sent him off. He didn't do nothing he was supposed to be doing. He was really a bad lawyer. Waste of money. Okay, y'all? Now, first I want to say shout out to, and I'm hoping I'm saying their names right. Her name, Milagro Grahams, okay? and Unthinkable Thoughts Radio. Okay.
She must got a Boston education, bro. She can't read.
The word on the street is, y'all, even Tori's brother is out here celebrating. Talking about some posted on Twitter. Okay, y'all? Now, according to them, now we all know that, Tory fired the old lawyer. We all know that because that was public information. It was all over the, reports. This new court date that's tomorrow, y'all. Tuesday, the 10th. Okay. The new court date, they're saying that there's some new codes that's added to the paperwork, y'all. Okay. They're saying that code number 132 has been added to the paperwork, which means something about falsified evidence and witness tampering or something like that. Witness testimony tampering, something. Okay, y'all. This is what they're saying that they're bringing forth to the table. Okay, they're also saying that it is RM is added to it, which word on the street is that Tory's 3 counts of felony charges could be reduced, y'all. This is what they're saying, to a misdemeanor.
Wow.
You talk about some egg on somebody's face. Megan about to be out here going crazy, y'all. Straight up. She's about to lose her mind in a minute because she is a word on the street that Tory might be getting up out of there, y'all. This is what it's looking like. He went from going to get sentenced on the 27th of this month to he got a new court date tomorrow. And they're bringing some new stuff to the table, y'all. And a lot of people is debating if this whole thing is about the whole missing bullet fragments, or is this about the Sean Kelly stuff? Okay, because word on the street is that this person left the courtroom, went upstairs and talked to some people that had something to do with Jay-Z them camp, allegedly. Okay, y'all. And he came back to the courtroom, she, whatever it is, came back and wouldn't even look.
Give me a pause real quick, bro.
None of them. Okay, wouldn't talk to nobody.
So our last podcast we did about this case, we showed his father venting. Sean Kelly was who he was talking about when he said Sean Kelly was a witness for the defense. Sean Kelly had met with Tory's family and met with their lawyers the day before. The day he was supposed to go testify, he was caught coming downstairs with representation from Roc Nation and also the prosecution, the DA. And he didn't look none of them in the eye, and he wouldn't even shake the Tory's lawyer's hand. Mind you, this is a witness for the defense. They called him. They subpoenaed him. They brought him in for his testimony. And as you can see, his testimony was kind of trash, and he found some type of way to implicate Tory into being involved with that gun, which ultimately I think that's what led him to getting convicted on these charges. So what she's saying is not word on the street. This was first brought to the light by Tory's father. It's the first thing he said when he got out the damn courtroom.
And just so people have been paying attention to, like what Ivy was saying, our last few podcasts on this, pay attention to what Tory is saying as well. He had a call from Roc Nation that they wanted to sign him basically, and he said no. And then ever since that, there's been a trickle effect and bad stuff happening with him in that regards. So
he cracked the matrix, D. Marachi. I don't know if you remember the last album he put out before the pandemic. He let everybody who was a fan of his get NFT rights on it. So they were able to invest money into his album. So he had so many unit purchases by the day he put it out. He was basically, and he did a live stream on it where he's telling everybody about how he cracked the code and all these artists need to get into this NFT shit. Now, of course, if you're signed to a label, you don't have that option. But say if you wanted to start rapping tomorrow, you could absolutely do that. And instead of motherfucker feeling like they purchasing your CD, they're purchasing an NFT and have some type of ownership and can actually get some type of residual later on down the line from they purchase of whatever percentage they put in. So that means if I got $1,000 and I'm looking at your album like an NFT, instead of looking at it like me giving you $1,000 for an album, I could put that $1,000 in. If your shit go platinum and you sell 1 million copies, I'll be able to get a percentage of something back, a nice percentage of something back in return. So he cracked the code, and like I said, we might do a episode on that where he speaks on it. He knows about that a little bit more better than I do, but I know that's what caused this hate amongst him in the industry, because they couldn't control him. He wasn't signed to nobody, so didn't nobody have the right to take none of his money. And then he did one of the biggest deals and got one of the biggest albums off ever in history. And I'm not sure if it went platinum, but hell, if he sold $500,000 units on an NFT, that motherfucker scored, bro. Heavy.
Right. So yeah, so pay attention how certain themes keep coming up. The Roc Nation is being brought up.
Their way, and it totally changed their whole demeanor of the courtroom, which this person was very important in the courtroom. Okay, y'all. But they went up there and started mingling and tingling with some of the people, Megan Thee Stallion them sad, okay, and switch things up. And this is how allegedly he lost, okay? So this new lawyer is bringing all this stuff out to the table, y'all. And this means, y'all, that everything that people thought, I be telling y'all a lot of smoke and mirrors in our face. And people with money pretty much can do what they want if you got the right people behind you, okay? Until they get caught. Until they get caught too, y'all, because sometimes people be doing all kind of stuff. But they're saying that evidence was altered, y'all. This is what they're talking about, how can you charge somebody for being, hit up in the pinky toe, and there's no fragments whatsoever? How can you lose the fragments? Have you been?
This is another thing that shout out to IV. He said as well in one of the other episodes that we just want y'all viewers to pay attention to. There was no actual fragments of a bullet that was pulled out of her foot. It was supposedly glass that was brought out, that was pulled out. No fragments of a bullet. So how can you be charged for shooting somebody if you can't even find the fragments of the bullet? IV, you wanted to add anything, bro?
Hell yeah. I said this same shit this month last year in 2022, bro. Remember I was telling you, like, man, that crazy ass broad probably kicked the back window out of that SUV, and that's how she cut her fucking foot. Do you remember me saying that to you? I think we was talking on the phone that day, before we even started our podcast. Mm-hmm. I was telling you, like, I believe she wowed out. That's not the way she was bleeding. Is not even the type of blood that you get from a bullet, bro. It wouldn't even. That was directly a cut. You could tell because she was leaking. Only a cut would do that. If it was a bullet, it wouldn't even been that much blood. Wouldn't have. It wouldn't have been that much blood.
And so for the people that are watching, right, and they're saying, okay, what was pulled out of her foot? What was pulled out of her foot?
Glass, bro. At this point, we don't know, but I'm going to say this. I ain't never seen a motherfucker get shot before, and the bullet was inside of them, and the bullet didn't come out of them. They couldn't pull the bullet out. Now, I do know some people that are still walking around with bullets in them, but you can tell there's a bullet in them. You can do an X-ray and see that there's a bullet in them. She has none of that, bro. She has none of that. None of that. None of that.
Right.
And our whole thing was before the verdict, that we were saying is nobody likes liars. None, and black men can attest to this the most. None of us can stand the type of woman that will make up a lie to try to destroy you. And you know my saying, D. Marachi, you know how it goes. Don't ever try to destroy somebody with a lie when they can kill you with the truth. And right now, it looked like her social death is going to be because of the truth is going to come out. And like I said, the biggest thing that hurt Tori, I just can't see doing it. Me and you discussed this too, I think, on the last podcast we did about this case. His biggest mistake was not getting on the stand. I don't give a fuck what the prosecution is going to bring up. Nigga, when they're done, your defense can let you sit on that stand and tell the whole story from your side. And that's what he should have did. And that's what we still, at this point, we have not heard Tory's side of the story yet. But obviously, there's a lot of shit missing from this shit because of the simple fact is, bro, he's back in court tomorrow. I've never seen this before. I can't think of one person that I've even heard of a case who, once they were found guilty, was back in court before they got sentenced. No celebrity, not Bill Cosby, not R. Kelly. I can't think of nobody who's ever been back in court again before their sentencing. So this lets you know there's some major flaws and loopholes in this case. We're done with her. We can stop right here. She's pretty much gave the gist of what we trying to do. Did you have something you wanted to bring up on Kenner?
No.
Let's get into it, Marachi. It feels good coming in 2023. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a boxer who retired and came out of retirement. Now you back in the ring again. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, all right, let's just give a brief summary of what I mean, catch people up to speed. So it looks like Tory Lanez is going through an appeal process. He was found guilty on December 23rd, 2022, and we are now at January 9th, 2023. So approximately 2 weeks after a guilty verdict was found. In a fast turnaround like that, it usually doesn't even happen like that. It hasn't even been, if we want to say on a fast side, it hasn't even been 30 days. You know what I mean? I don't even think it's been a full 2 weeks.
He hasn't been sentenced yet. Bro. There's nothing by the rules of due process. He has to go through due process. And the next step after he was convicted is to be sentenced. He hasn't even been given his time yet from the judge. And they're already back in court because obviously there was some shit. And, you know, even if the judge sees it, he like, that's bullshit right there. He can't do nothing about it if the defense doesn't file a motion under it. Everything in court that's done through lawyers, done through prosecutors, is done through what they call a motion. So they're filing a motion to suppress evidence or filing a motion for discovery. Everything is a motion. And his due process doesn't call for any more motions till after sentencing. So if he's getting a preliminary hearing, you don't get preliminary hearings after the trial. Preliminary is before the trial.
Right.
So what's going on right now is unprecedented. It's not normal. I don't have another case that I can compare to this, but obviously the one thing, and we don't have a lot of information yet because he hasn't went to court, but the one thing I can tell you is this: if the court is seriously gave this man a court date before he gets sentenced, man, it's some shit that hit the fan. It's some shit that hit the fan, bro. And that's a fact, Jack.
Yeah, so just so the people that aren't familiar with David Kenner, because I'm not really familiar with him as well. I learned about him tonight. Me and Ivy was having a conversation, and I was just doing some research and preparing for this podcast episode tonight. So I don't want to go through the whole thing, but I'll go through a little bit of it just so we can get an idea and what's going on.
20-some years petty over making a statute. Oh no. Okay. Anyway, y'all, please.
My fault, y'all.
Yo, it's crazy. I thought David Kenner had been retired, bro.
Yeah. So it just says he was basically he's been
Can
practicing.
you blow that up any?
This is as big as it goes right here. But yeah, this is and then again, I'll put a link in the description as well so people can read this whole thing. But I'm just gonna go through it just briefly. He's been practicing for over 40 years. He practices in the state of California. You know what I mean? He's done things with the DEA, CIA, ATF, organized crimes, and he's been involved with federal drug cases. And the big one, what we was talking about was he was the lawyer in the Snoop Dogg case where Snoop was charged with first degree murder. He was the lawyer for him as well, and also Suge Knight as well too. So this lawyer knows
Nate Dogg, corrupt. He was actively hired on when Suge made Tupac's bail. He was now Tupac's attorney too, and he was going to handle the case that Tupac was under. While Tupac got an appeal bond. Mm-hmm. So once you're granted an appeal, while you're waiting on the process to go to court, you're given a bond. Tupac was found guilty, okay, of sodomy. So they had already sent him to Rikers Island. He was waiting on he went through his sentencing, and then after his sentencing, I think Pac spent like 9 months in jail. Mm-hmm. After his sentencing, he was granted an appeal. I think the appeal was going to be a year after that. 8 months that he did. So once you're granted that appeal and you're going to get that appeal, they give you what is called an appeal bond. And that's what Suge Knight bonded Tupac out on. So Tupac was just waiting to get back into appeals court. And of course, David Kenner was going to be right there once he got into appeals court. You know what I'm saying? So this was the guy that kept alive. I mean, and when you think about it, I don't want you to think about Snoop Dogg as a celebrity. At this time, Snoop Dogg hadn't even dropped Doggy Style yet. I think Snoop Dogg was just known for his appearances on Dre's Chronic album.
Okay.
So we're not talking about Snoop who he is today, the superstar Snoop. This was just a starving artist at the time who had Suge Knight under having his back, being a part of that label, and them having access to David Kenner. Snoop Dogg wouldn't have been able to afford him as an artist if it wasn't for Suge. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying that to say this. Snoop was more known for being a Crip from Long Beach at that time. He was known just as much for being a Crip as he was for being an artist at that point. If Snoop Dogg would have went to prison in 1992, none of y'all would remember who the fuck he is right
now. Right.
That's how little bit of work he's done. He would have no accolades in hip hop, no successful albums for real. Like, this is what changed Snoop Dogg's life. David Kenner did that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about some other things that I was saying. Witness tampering and altering. So a witness from the defense side, Sean Kelly, which was brought up from the defense side, was there to was something that they called up. So Tory Lanez's witness. And then he had he met with Roc Nation. And then after he met with Roc Nation, he would not even look at the defense attorney or his side.
The thing is, right, let's say I was on trial for my life, right? I'm the defendant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing you up as a witness because you might have been around when some phone calls was made. My girl tried to press charges on me or whatever, and you was around when she was calling and threatening me. So I'm bringing you in as a witness to speak about some things. You seen some shit, you heard some shit. And in order for the prosecution to do an interview on you, which they're allowed to do, it has to be a motion. Remember, I kept telling you, everything you do through the court of law comes with a motion. You have to file a motion for it. Or they have to alert the defense. They have to tell us that they want to meet with you. Because my attorneys have the right, when you go in to meet with the prosecutor, because they want to interview you, my lawyers have the right to be there. They had a meeting with Sean Kelly without nobody knowing. That is officially tampering with a witness. That would have been the same thing if Tori got caught talking to one of the jurors when they said he was on the elevator with one of the bitches. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So that would have been like, while they were on the elevator having a meeting, when they come out the elevator, they all talking. That would have been reason to say he's tampering with the jury. And it would have been a bad look for him. But in this case, the best thing, and salute once again to Tory's father. The best thing he did was come out that courtroom the day of the verdict and aired that shit out, nigga. It's the best thing that he could have did for his son.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was that statement about Sean Kelly, I guarantee you, that brings out a different life for Tory at the end, bro.
Right.
It was that statement right there. When he said they met with Roc Nation, now it's up to them, that court, which you know the court has plenty of cameras in that motherfucker. They could see that this really took place. They fucked. That's really grounds for a miss. They can throw the shit out at this point. They honestly can.
Right.
Or you can set it for a retrial and press charges on Meg for this shit in the prosecution.
Right. But it's also an interesting point. There's a lot of money behind it. So that's why things are not being played the way that they're supposed to be played. Because in real life, like you said, you wouldn't be able to talk to the opposite side's witnesses without there being an attorney present or knowledge of it. So I'm just breaking it down for the common people that they don't.
You best to believe Roc Nation has access to offer that man $1 million or $2 to throw the case. It's not too. We're not talking about LeBron James here. I'm pretty sure Sean Kelly is not worth $100 million. He may the living Calabasas, you worth a few million, but let's just say he's worth 10. If you're worth $10 million and you're offered $1 million for a 30-minute testimony, who ain't taking that? Who's not taking that, bro?
Shoot. Yeah, mostly everybody, they taking that.
I guarantee you Sean Kelly somewhere with white sand and clear blue water with a colorful drink with an umbrella at the top of it right now, bro. Right now. Right now. Right now.
And so then, you know, and these were just brushes. You would hear brushes of them saying that Tory Lanez, he tampered with evidence when it came to Kelly and other witnesses. He was using scare tactics and threatening things. But
what I think that was, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's pretty obvious the only decent backup right now that Megan Thee Stallion has is Roc Nation. Her publishers are trash. No offense, I guarantee her publishers are all females that thought it was a good idea to put out there to the public that Tory Lanez was tampering with witnesses while they did it. It's kind of like what me and you talked about before that some people do. They project exactly who they are, but they say it's somebody else.
Right. Right.
I don't know who the fuck thought that's a good cover-up. It's a blatant exposure to yourself.
Yeah.
If you're really a victim, why are you even worried about all that?
Yeah, like you're not even gonna want to talk around people because it's gonna bring so much trauma and so much bad memories. You're not gonna even want to talk like that. People get so frightened to take the stand because of that. To see the person that possibly assaulted them or whatever, attacked them, whatever the case may be, it brings so much trauma. And I've seen very little within this case when it comes to Megan, when it comes to this. If I'm and again, allegedly, if I'm shot and I'm seeing the person that shot me, there's no way that, you know what I mean? There's no way, especially it being a female, that you're that brave.
Well, my thing is this. I think it's obvious at this point. The lack of evidence, the lack of proof to really put this man in prison. No bullets, no fragments, no entry wound, no exit wound. When were you shot? If you were never shot, then why is this man getting ready to go to prison? You don't have any DNA on this man, on that gun, which means that he couldn't have loaded the gun.
Mm-hmm.
He's never touched the clip.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't charge him with the possession of the firearm. And nothing makes sense at the end of the day on any of the charges that he actually was found guilty on if you don't have any evidence to prove it.
Right. What is he being charged with? If there's no
three
bullet,
different charges.
if there's no
three different charges.
Go ahead.
One is possession.
Yeah.
One is recklessly firing a firearm,
Right.
and the other one is assault with a firearm.
Okay.
But if he never shot at her, you got to wipe away the assault. If he never fired the gun, you got to wipe away the reckless firing of the reckless shooting of a firearm. You got to take that away.
Yeah.
And if it's not his gun, you got to take away the possession charge. Now, what is he in jail for?
There we go. Yeah. And that's basically what I was alluding to right there. Exactly. Another thing that was brought up, and this was a question that I had. If they do reduce these charges to a misdemeanor, or he has some sort of probation, would he still have to be deported back to Canada?
Not on misdemeanor charges. On felony charges, yes. Any felony charge, yes. Felony probation, yes. But not misdemeanor charges and not misdemeanor probation, no. He won't have to worry about ICE. He won't have to worry about dealing with any of that under misdemeanor charges.
Okay.
And there's no way they're going to take any deals that's going to include him not having access to America again, because that's his target market when it comes to his career.
Yeah.
This is where he has to do shows at, do tours at. I'm pretty sure he sells more in America than he does in Canada, where he's from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, they're not going to take any deals that's going to include him not being able to perform and do music here in the United States.
Right.
And and this is a crazy thing. Like I said, I don't have any cases that I can reference on how this shit goes. I've never seen nothing like this before. But it just lets me know that the only way a serious judge is going to allow this shit to be back in a courtroom before sentencing is because there's some serious flaws in the case.
Right. I've never heard of it.
Me neither.
Yo, and I'm gonna be honest with you, when I've heard of appeals, I know they usually take a minute, but just say the benefit of a doubt, I've never heard nothing less than 90 days.
Well, this isn't an appeal. This is a preliminary hearing. So I'm saying that to say this. He would have to get sentenced first and wait 30 days before he can even file an appeal.
Okay. All right. So I'm using wrong terminology. I've just never heard of a quick turnaround like that before.
Okay, I'm not sure what Cali's stipulation is, but now that I'm thinking back to it, I tried to file my appeal around July. I got sentenced end of January myself, and then I was in prison by my birthday. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I remember filing somewhere around June or July. So I believe in Ohio, you may have to sit 6 months first before you can even file an appeal. But according to due process, I don't care what state you're in. At this point, before you're sentenced, there's no way you can be eligible for an appeal at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He's not even eligible for an appeal. So this is something totally different and new to majority of us. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there may be a case, because you have to reference everything by a case that happened before. So in order for David Kenner to get him into court again tomorrow, this has happened before.
Yeah.
It's happened before. We just don't. We would have to do some serious research to find what case it was. And I mean, that could take you months to do, considering the fact that they can reference a state case or a federal case. It doesn't matter.
Right. Right. I've just never, like I said, I've never seen a turnaround like that before. And this man, David Kenner, he's definitely meaning business at the end of the day for it to turn around like this.
Oh yeah. He's highly. You've been practicing law 40 years. You're a multi-millionaire. You were involved with a $500 million record label 30 years ago. Bro, you know everybody you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
You can pull whatever strings you need to pull. And if you take over a case as high profile as this one, and you've been practicing law 40 years, you can just look at the dockets. You can look at the transcripts and be like, oh, I can beat the case here. That's what a good lawyer does. He shows you all the mistakes that were made. He shows you all the loopholes you can capitalize off of and what case laws and case studies he can use to get your ass back in court. I just never seen a turnaround this fast before in my life.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ever.
And for him to look at everything and be able to do it in that quick turnaround lets you know that he knows what he's doing. Because he got to look through all of that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. But I doubt if he looked through all of it. He just looked at intricate things that he wants to use for Tory's defense. He's got a staff of motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That did all that for him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This dude is, when it comes to lawyers in California, in the state of California, oh, dude's the boss. He's the top dog, bro.
Right.
What our homie Andrew Tate say, top G? He's the top G in lawyers out there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's top G, man.
Right. So
all in all, if Tory Lanez did what he was accused of, he should face his consequences. I don't feel like anybody should be able to really do foul shit and get away with it, unless you're me. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, it's hard for me to say that he should do time because I wouldn't wish that on my enemy. You know what I'm saying? Right. If I got an enemy, I'd rather handle my enemy myself. Mm-hmm. But I think that in the case where a lady is saying she's been assaulted, I think she deserves her justice, you know, from her behalf. As far as him, I don't wish nothing bad on him. I don't have a dog in the fight. But if he's getting lied upon, the real victim in this situation is Tory.
Right.
And for those of you who've never had to see a county jail or see prison, you've been blessed, and hopefully you never do. For all of us who know what the other side of that wall is like, man, that's some fucked up shit to go through for some shit you didn't do.
Right. Right.
And I know all about that too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I know about having to deal with that mentally, knowing you really don't know why you're there.
Right. And also, you know, me summarizing this as well. Pay attention to what people are saying and pay attention to what is actually going on. You're hearing constant themes. You're hearing constant names that are being mentioned, and you're seeing constant actions. And to make it a little bit, to make it more clearer for you all, Roc Nation's name keeps getting brought up within it. You know what I mean? You got to ask yourself why. You know what I mean? When this is a case, yes, it's one of their people, that one of their clients, but they shouldn't be directly involved with a case that's involving a client.
You don't see nobody else this directly involved. You don't see the distributors and the major label behind YSL this directly involved with their case.
Right.
You don't see any of this shit going on with any of these other rappers who have real shit. We talking about most of these rappers we're talking about that are going through RICO charges and shit like that. They got murders and mass distributing of drugs and mass guns up under their cases. They got serious crimes. Crimes that if they're found guilty, they will never see the day of light again. And I mean down to the fact of YSL, what we seen happen to Shotty and all them in the 6ix9ine case, when they were tied into murders and racketeering as a gang. We seen the same shit happen to what's his name from New York, man, the gorilla motherfucking damn, bro. Casanova,
Casanova
2 times.
yeah.
Yeah, we seeing that they're on RICO charges right now. You know what I'm saying? We just seen Sauce Walker's right-hand man get taken down on the RICO. We don't know what's about to happen with Sauce. We're seeing this shit constantly happen, but you don't see the label owners attached to their shit.
Right.
What the fuck was Desiree Perez doing every day? Desiree Perez was in that courtroom days Megan wasn't there. Why?
That's crazy.
And like you said earlier, let's rewind. Megan and Kelsey both testified that they met Tori at a Roc Nation brunch. What was Tori at the Roc Nation brunch for? Because Roc Nation was interested in bringing him aboard their shit.
Right.
Tori told them, fuck yourself. And they've had a vendetta against him ever since. And I can only see this pettiness coming from one type of nigga in Roc Nation.
Right.
I ain't scared of the boogeyman, nigga. Fuck
him. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so people.
I'm a sparing because of you and your East Coast bias. That Boston bullshit, he own it. In the words of Big. You know what I'm saying? Not Brooklyn, but this time it's gonna be Boston. My co-host like, nah, man, don't do it to him. Man, fuck that dude. If he really doing the shit that some of these people have accused him of, bro, we need to stop. Selective politics, black people. We have to stop that bullshit. We've seen this happen in this case. People selective politicking. Oh, it's all about whose side you on and who you a fan of. Either you down with Meg or you down with Tory. No, I'm down with what's right. I don't give a fuck about neither one of them.
Right.
But we gotta stop the selective politicking. Who you favor, ladies? Stop. And just because it's a woman, we gotta believe her shit. No, cut that shit the fuck out.
Right.
Cut that shit the fuck out.
Right.
Cut it out. We gotta stop this selective politicking. We gotta stop this buddy. If your buddy doing some wrong shit, that ain't your buddy. If you can't look him in the face and say, "Hey, D. Marachi, you doing some bullshit," I'm not your friend. All this faking and all this bullshit we on as a culture, it has to stop. It's 2023. I don't want to hear no more of this shit this year, man. No more selective politicking. No more bullshitting. No more faking because it's your homie. Your homie a foul ass, snake ass motherfucker. He's a foul ass, snake ass motherfucker. That simple. Cut and dry. You hang with snakes, so you gotta shed skin too.
Cool. Cool.
Tired of niggas being goofy out here, bro. Y'all gotta look yourself in the mirror. Ain't y'all tired of being goofy? Ain't y'all tired of being dots? Gangsters? Matter of fact, let's just break it down a little further. For you dots, you only dotting against your own culture, which is genocide, because you're using your own culture to take money from and benefit only you. You're not giving this shit back to the community. Y'all ain't out here buying turkeys like Nino Brown. All right? Y'all ain't doing that. But you fellas who gangsters, you're not killing the cops. Not that I'm advocating for that. But you're not. Hell, I hate to even say this. At least the Ku Klux Klan as a group know who their enemies are. You gangsters don't even know who your fucking enemies are. Y'all niggas are clowns. Fucking clowns. Y'all are the biggest problem of black culture, and y'all think this shit is cool. Hey, yo, another thing in 2023, fuck all you rappers that's advocating for this shit. Stop supporting the fuckery. Especially from these niggas. Haven't we seen enough? How much slime shit have we been hearing from YSL, and they got 14 niggas out of 28 ready to take a stand on Young Thug?
Right.
I'm not advocating for Young Thug like he's some type of righteous nigga, but we can all say this. You wouldn't know who Gunna was if it wasn't for Thug. Half of them niggas around him was eating, driving Hellcats, and living in nice cribs because Thug put money in their pocket. So I'm saying this to you, YSL niggas. Damn, where's your loyalty?
Right.
Where's your loyalty? So all you street niggas, they like to ride in packs. I'm going to give you a quote. You may not know this nigga. His name is Tretch. He used to be in a group called Naughty by Nature. And this is something that I was raised on, that when we was in the streets, we stood on. I do my dirt all by my lonely. Stop running in packs. Cowards running packs. Tupac told you, you ain't shit without your homeboys. Now y'all niggas in the county scared. D.A. Can I get a sandwich and some chips? I'll tell you everything. Oh, ass niggas, but you was sliming, body bagging shit 7 months ago.
Right.
You was casting over 2-timing niggas. We was watching Shotty and 6ix9ine put money on niggas' heads on live streams.
Right.
How do y'all niggas claim to be gangster, but you drop down to your knees and suck a motherfucking, you know what, as soon as pressure comes? I ain't never seen an era of soft-ass niggas like this in my life, man. This era right now is the softest group of black men, I think, in the history of black men. These niggas don't have no moral, no code, no ethic. They stand for nothing, so they fall for everything.
Right.
Let me chill out, man.
Right. Yeah, they got me on the last episode. They said, yo, let Ivy go. Some personal people said, let him go. So I'm letting him go.
If I go in the kitchen, I'll start whipping up, man. Don't bother me, man. Go to the dinner table, wait on your plate, man. If I'm in there cooking, let me cook.
They said let him go. They said let him go. But I think we covered
And shout
enough.
out to all of them. Shout out to the brothers and sisters who told you that. I don't know who they are, but
Yeah.
I feel them. I feel them too. I understand.
Yo, one of my partners, he told me, he was like, yo, let him go. But yeah, man.
On the behalf of D. Marachi, on behalf of you, I am gonna say this to him. We have been limited. They terminated our first channel, took our name from us. Probably because of some shit I said. Most likely. So I understand my homeboy because we're orchestrating a business here and we gotta move as a business. It's never personal. So I understand when he's like, yo, let's not make it personal. I get what my homie's saying, and you're right, bro. Don't think that real recognize real, bro. So it's not. I'm never gonna put a filter on myself. Right. But sometimes what's understood don't need to be explained, bro. And that's where I'm standing at in 2023. In the words of Pusha T, if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, this shit ain't for you.
Right. So like you said, everything's gonna be going down tomorrow, and we're gonna stay closely listening to it, and anything developing that comes up with it, we're gonna shoot y'all another episode, man. But yo, we back 2023 plug talk. Yo, shout out to Essence. Hope she's doing well. Appreciate her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We miss your Essence. Bring your ass back to work. Hey, you know what? And I'm coining this though. 2023 is we're not, if you know, you know, we're not gonna call it 2023. We're gonna call this shit 20 Jordan, bro. This is year of the goats. This is year of the goats right here. Get anointed. Earn your stripes. Become a goat this year. This is 20 Jordan, y'all. 20 Jordan.
Right. We're gonna end it. Yo, thank y'all for watching this episode. Appreciate y'all, man. And become a member, man. Become a member of that GOAT, that 23. Know what I mean? Comment,
subscribe, and you motherfuckers ain't gotta go home. But you gotta get the fuck out of here. Peace and blessings. Plug talk.